Good morning, Sheila. True Love here with you this fine Wednesday morning. What is a wife? Do men confuse a wife with being a domestic slave? Let's take a listen in to what this man have to say in terms of what is a wife and what is a woman. And if a woman have to go 50-50 with a man, does he does should she be submissive to him? You already know where I stand, 50-50. And if you don't believe in 50-50, then 70-30. But you're going to pay something towards the rent. I just feel that way. And something towards the utilities and the food, so that way you'll have some say so in the home. It don't have to be 50-50. It could be 70-30. He pays most of this and most of that, the rent or what have you. But pay something on the rent and the mortgage, honey, please. Just try. Anyway, let's listen in.
Yes.
What is a wife?
A wife. A wife is a blessing from God. A wife is a gift from the Most High God. Men confuse wife with slave. Man, I need a wife that submits to me. Brother, are you submitting to God?
Hello.
Because a wife is a gift from God. If you can't submit to a God, a woman should submit to you. A woman wasn't created to be your servant. She was created to be your helpmate. She was created to help you tackle the hard things in life. So if you believe that your woman should cook and clean for you, you've mistaken a wife for a servant. Now, a good woman, if you put her in the state of peace and you provide her every need, a good woman will make sure you're okay because it's in her nature to nurture. But she wasn't created to be a slave. She wasn't created to be in the kitchen. She was created to help you. Help me with what? To elevate your life. Even when you're no longer on this planet, she brings your children into this world. And she nurtures their minds and spirits and bodies with everything you done taught her. So if you marrying a woman for her to cook for you, you a foolish man. Matter of fact, you're not a man at all. You're a boy trapped in a man's body. A wife is a gift from God. And how are you supposed to treat her? You're supposed to provide her if you know that God gave you this woman, why would you turn God's blessing into a curse? She should cook and clean for me, have sex when I want her to. That's not what she was created for. If you want to cook that cooks all the time, get you a servant. If you want someone to clean your house up, get you a servant. But when you get a wife, when a man chooses a wife, he chooses a person that he can expand his lineage with. He chooses one that he knows can teach his children things when he's no longer around. That's why a man marries. A man marries a wife to expand his empire. Meaning she's going to have my children and she's going to teach my children the things that I would teach my children, but I'm not always around my children because I'm traveling the world expanding the empire for my children. Men have confused wife with servant. And a lot of men won't understand this. And those men die alone. Those men can't keep a woman happy. They go from relationship to relationship to relationship because they believe a woman was created just to serve them. For my religious brothers and sisters, Adam was alone walking through the garden. And then from Adam, God gave him Eve. What does that mean? He gave Adam a woman as a gift because he knew this woman would take him to a whole new level. Now, some brothers will be like, man, Eve was the curse to mankind. Was it Eve's fault? Or was it Adam's fault for not being able to guide his woman into the right direction?
Hello, holla.
So we have to understand there's a difference between wife and servant. Servant is one that cooks and cleans for you. A wife is a divine blessing from God. So it's our duty to protect the greatest gift ever given to man, which is the woman, his wife.
Well, there you have it. How many men do you think will actually listen to this message and apply it and fully understand that the men are not the gift? They never were. Women are the gift. And you have to keep in mind that Adam was the one who needed help. You know, God created the woman as a helper to this man, to help elevate him, to help him be the best that he can be. This is why I tell women, when a man puts his hand on you or he cheats on you, that should be the last time, sweetheart. Because if you're here to do what God created you to do, you're trying to help this man be a better man. And condoning bad behavior, supporting and encouraging and enabling bad behavior, that's not helping him to be the best that he can be. You know? I also like the point that he brought out, how men confuse a wife with being a slave, a domestic servant. That's not what we're here for. You're not his mother. And I brought this out previously in a couple of my other videos. Anytime a mother is picking up behind her grown son, cooking for him, doing his laundry, cleaning up behind him, everyone sees that as dysfunctional, but yet you don't see it as dysfunctional when a wife is picking up behind this grown man, doing his laundry like he's a baby, cleaning up and cooking, not sharing the responsibilities of the domestic work in the home. But you say that that's okay because that's a wife. No, that's his mother, and you're not her. When it comes to the domestic work in the house, that should be 50-50 all the way down the line, even with the childcare. You do work one week. I don't know what dynamics you have in your home, but you work, according to you. Because for me, I would be a week on and then I have a week off. He would be a week on and then he have a week off when it comes to cooking and cleaning. When it comes to children, I got a week off. The kids coming at me, no, baby, this is mommy's week off. You go right over, see dad sitting over there? Uh-huh. Yeah. Whatever the dynamics are in your home, you know how your situation is. Everyone's situation is different. But it should be 50-50 of that housework, especially if you are a woman who works outside the home. Come on. I just had someone leave a comment in one of my videos where they said, since I do most of the domestic work, then, that's why I don't believe in 50-50. My question to her was, why are you doing most of the domestic work? Does someone have a gun to your head? Someone forcing you to do this? Why are women, and then she's talking about black women. It's not just black women, it's women, period, all over the world. Women, we got so much to do. We got so much work. Yeah, you do, because you're not thinking wisely. You shouldn't have to be doing all of the housework when you helping to pay, whether it's 70-30. You're helping to pay some of the bills in this doggone house. And I'm a firm believer that you should pay towards the rent. I already said this to you, the mortgage, the food. Why? Because those are necessities. The Wi-Fi, what have you. So you can have some say-so. You have to pay the cost to be the boss, at least partial of the boss. And then also the point where he said you have these men who saying, I want a woman who's going to submit to me. Yeah, but are you submitting to God? Are you following your head? The head of man is who? Yeah, Christ. They don't want to submit to Christ, but they want you to submit to them. God, a woman is a gift from God, so you should be submitting to God. But they don't want to hear that part. They also don't want to hear the part in the Bible where it says you are supposed to submit to one another. That's another part where it falls on deaf ears. They can't hear that part. And they constantly keep thinking that a woman was created to be their servant. No, sweetheart. We was created to be your helper, your helpmate. I don't know why people say help meet. That don't make sense to me. Help mate, you know? Help to elevate you. We know that men have a problem. It's difficult for them to use their big head because they're so busy allowing their little head to lead them in all the wrong directions. You know, I've noticed that a man, his eggplant is his God. They don't care about hurting who they hurt. They don't care. They don't care about it. Comes before God. It comes before Christ. It comes before children. It comes before wife. It comes before family. Anything that eggplant dictates to these men, that's where they're off to the races. So that is their God, and that is idolatry, which is a deadly, deadly sin. And if a man is treating a woman the way the Bible says and Christ shows men how they're supposed to treat a woman, if she's a good woman, she's going to be very, very nurturing because that's in our nature. That comes firsthand. That's in our DNA. That's in our nature to be nurturing. You know, now when it comes to children, everyone don't want children, okay? At the same time, you still help this man when it comes to uplifting him, when it comes to being his biggest cheerleader, when it comes to being a good listener. And because you're such a good listener, now when it's time to make decisions, and he may be at a loss sometimes, you're such a good listener. You've already done a lot of reading on the topic. You've done research on it. And now you have something to offer that's intelligent, that is useful, and that's going to help elevate this man. And of course, you are his peace. But you see, a lot of men feel that you're not his peace if you won't allow him to cheat on you, dominate, control, and abuse you. So if you don't permit those things, you're not bringing me peace. Oh, well, what he needs is psychiatric help. He needs to be in a psychiatric hospital with a straitjacket because it's obvious something is wrong with him mentally and emotionally. Now let's see, what is a good woman? Let's check out this other video here and tell me what you think. Leave your commentary, please. Now, after listening to this gentleman here, you know, he has the perfect idea of what a good woman is, and I do agree with him 100%. Tell me what you think.
That knows who she is. A woman that knows who she is, knows her worth. That's a good woman. A woman who supports her man, but she doesn't baby him. That's a good woman. A woman who doesn't mind submitting as long as you understand what it means and it goes both ways.
Thank you.
That's a good woman. A woman that's beautiful, loving, and full of ambition. That's a good woman. She brings more to the table than you're willing to acknowledge. That's because she's a good woman. She walks in her femininity. She takes care of herself, but don't think she won't check you. That's a good woman. She has your back as long as you have hers.
Hello.
That's a good woman. She knows who she is and she walks with confidence. That's a good woman. She expects you to be everything God called you to be, and she will hold you accountable. That's a good woman.
I love it when he says that she has no problem submitting as long as you know that goes both ways. Like the scriptures say, we are to submit to each other. She will always have your back as long as you have hers. That's a good woman. She's a woman who's ambitious. She doesn't eat the bread of laziness like Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31 shows you what a real good woman is and what a real good mother is. And she was not no stay-at-home mom. She was not no stay-at-home wife, but she knew how to manage a household. She had enough sense to hire maid servants. She had help running that household while she was out in the marketplace making money, baby. She was at home making things, and then she went into the marketplace to sell it. Did she spend her money on foolishness? No, she spent her money on property. She was buying land. She spent her money wisely. That's an amazing woman. She also knew how to build her husband up because she had a husband who people spoke very highly of. What was not to build up? She had it. That was kind of easy when you have an amazing man. That's a good woman. And like that man said previously, honey, don't confuse a wife with being a domestic servant or a domestic slave, because that's not why women were created. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I hope that made your day. I hope it helps you to understand things a little more clearly, and for you not to allow any man to take advantage of you, to manipulate you, to abuse you. Anytime a man cannot treat you properly, he don't deserve to have a reward. He don't deserve you, because remember, after all, we are the gifts. Remember that.